Hello students. First of all, very congratulations to all of you for being promoted to the next class, that is the ninth. So before going to start the new session, means new class, I want to give one thoughts for all of you that there is no brilliant students in the beginning of this session. Means किसी भी सेशन की शुरुआत में कोई भी ब्रिलियंट स्टूडेंट्स क्लास में नहीं होता है, बट इन द एंड ऑफ दिस सेशन देयर आर सम ब्रिलियंट स्टूडेंट्स, सम आर द बिलो एवरेज स्टूडेंट एंड सम आर द बिलो एवरेज स्टूडेंट. सो इट्स डिपेंड अपॉन आवर हार्ड वर्क, मीन्स आवर परफॉर्मेंस, दैट हाउ वी आर परफॉर्मिंग इन आवर क्लास and how we are performing towards our work. So those who will do the good in this session, definitely their result will be good. So before going to start the motion, we have to know what is the motion. Motion, actually motion है क्या? Suppose that there are the two types of the situation, means it may be the rest and it may be the motion, or you can say the moving position. It's any. Now what is motion? When an object changes its position with respect to time, then the body is said to be in motion. Okay, जब कभी कोई भी बॉडी टाइम के साथ साथ अपनी पोजीशन को चेंज करती है, देन जो ये सच काइंड ऑफ द सिचुएशन इज नोन एज द मोशन. तब हम कह सकते हैं कि ये जो बॉडी है वो क्या कर रही है, मोशन कर रही है. Okay, now the next is rest. What is next? Rest. So rest is the situation in which there is no change. There is no change in the position of any object with respect to the time. Means समय के साथ साथ उसकी पोजीशन में कोई भी जब चेंज नहीं हो, किसी भी बॉडी की पोजीशन में कोई भी चेंज नहीं हो, then this such kind of the situation is known as the rest situation. Okay, so now the next situation arises in our mind, that is the kinds of the motion. There are so many kinds of the motion you have learned in your 7th class, such as the rectilinear motion, curvilinear motion, rotational motion, periodic motion, non-periodic motion, etc. Okay, so there are so many types of the motion you have already learned in your previous standard. Okay, now come to the next point, that is physical quantity. So there are two types of the physical quantity. One is the scalar quantity and one is the vector quantity. Okay, so let's start the first physical quantity, that is suppose we have started here the scalar quantity, a quantity in which only the one, that is the magnitude, is given. Means okay, so such quantities are said to be the scalar quantity. Means एक ऐसी quantity जिसमें केवल एक मैग्नीट्यूड ही दे रखा हो, तब ऐसी सिचुएशन के लिए, ऐसी क्वांटिटीज के लिए हम उनको स्केलर क्वांटिटीज को कहते हैं, सच एज एग्जांपल टाइम, वॉल्यूम, स्पीड. सो दीज आर सम एग्जांपल्स ऑफ द स्केलर क्वांटिटी. बट व्हाट इज द वेक्टर क्वांटिटी? नाउ द वेक्टर क्वांटिटी, a quantity of physical quantities in which we have to be need of both magnitude as well as the direction. Okay, so such kinds of the physical quantities are said to be of vector quantity. Example: force, position, velocity, acceleration. These are the some examples of the vector quantities. Okay, now one more question, means if they both are the different, then how we can represent them? Okay, so whenever you will represent the scalar quantity, you just use the small letter of, you can represent this scalar quantity by the small letter, okay, of any English alphabet. But whenever you will represent the vector quantity, so in that situation you will use a arrow like as. Suppose that here we have to be represent a suppose I am talking about the velocity. Suppose the velocity is represented by the v. Okay, so whenever you will represent these this situation, that is the b, here b is only, whenever you will represent this b, and it represents only the scalar quantity. Okay, but whenever you will represent this b as a vector, then you will use the arrow over this b. Okay, so this is the situation. Now see, okay, now it's clear. Okay, now means this arrow represents that it is a vector quantity. Okay, now suppose if somebody says a person is moving with a speed of 60 km per hour. So it is a case of the scalar quantity. If I said a person is moving with 60 km per hour in east direction, then this is the situation of the vector. Okay, means because the direction as well as the magnitude is also given. So that's why this is the situation of the vector. Means if if both the magnitude as well as the direction is given in any situation, then that is the case of vector quantity. If only the one, that is the magnitude, if only the magnitude is given, then it is the case of the scalar quantity. Now come to the next point, that is the distance. What is distance? Means a length of path covered by a moving you can say a moving an object in the given time irrespective of the direction is known as the distance. Okay, so the SI unit of the distance, you are very well known about the SI unit of the distance. What? Yes, say? Oh, yes, good. It's meter. Means we have already discussed the same units in the example of the scalar quantity. Means the scalar quantity means that is the distance. So distance is a scalar quantity because no specific direction is given. So that's why this is the situation of the scalar quantity. So we can say that meter is the scalar quantity. Okay, now. So means the distance. What is distance? The length of the path covered by a moving an object in the given time irrespective of the direction. That is known as the distance. Okay, means now next is displacement. It is going to be the most important. Okay, so please listen carefully. Means that is okay. So what is a displacement? The shortest distance between any 2 points is known as the displacement. Okay, or you in the other word for that situation, that is the distance, you can say the sum of all boundaries of any figure, as we have already learned in the mathematics, that is the parameter of any figure. Okay, so the distance is what? The sum of all distances covered by a person. Okay, so that is the distance. Okay, now but what is the displacement? The shortest distance between 2 points is known as the displacement. Okay, so here you will see a situation. Suppose that, now see, here I have made a rectangle. Okay, a person moves start from A and then goes up to the B. Okay, now see, then C, then D. So for this given situation, okay, now see like this, a person which moves start from this A and moves and goes to the B. Now suppose that it's your 5 meter, it's your 2 meter. Now the distance covered by a person from A to B is what? 5 meter. Clear? Now if I said what is the distance covered by a person from A to C, because here it is what? Your rectangle. So from A to C the distance, that sum is 5 plus 2 becomes 7. It is a simple situation, that is the sum of the algebraic sum. Here the algebraic sum. So 5 plus 2 becomes 7 is the distance. Okay, if I said that please tell me the displacement of a person from A to C, then what? How will you calculate it? As I already told you that the displacement is what? The shortest distance between 2 points. Okay, so what are the initial and the final points here? A is the initial point and C is the final point. Okay, so for this given situation, what will be your displacement from A to C? This line. Okay, clear? Now, so as you already know that it's your situation, means the rectangle is given. So for this you have already learned in mathematics, that is the Pythagoras theorem. So by the help of the Pythagoras theorem you can easily calculate the length of this AC. Yes, that is h square equal to p square plus b square. By the use of this Pythagoras theorem you can easily calculate the this AC. Okay, that will be the displacement. Okay, but now if I said a same person moves from A to B and then goes to B to C and then goes to from C to D, okay, that means the situation, that is the 5 meter, and this will be again the 2 meter for that rectangle. So if a person moves from A and reach up to the D, then what will be its distance? And second thing, what will be its displacement? Okay, so you will tell me this answer of this situation. Okay, do the practice for this, and you will tell me the answer of this situation. Okay, now, and if I said that if a person moves from A to B and B to C and C to D and then D to A, so for this given situation, you have to calculate the distance covered by the person from A to A. Are you getting my point? Means a person start from A, then B, then C, then D, and then again A. Okay, so in this situation, how much will be the distance? Okay, and how much will be the displacement? So here you got the two questions. Means you have to calculate the distance from A to A as well as the displacement from A to A. And